They're going to be voting soon. Don't know if you can hear this. I think you can probably hear this, but anyone there? Got one person watching. I'll just share so everyone knows we're here. I'm just watching the news at the moment. They're just rabbiting on about things. I'll share it on Twitter. Hello, guys. Are you here? You can hear it, can you? All right. Hello, Armand. Hello. I'll just mute these people. I've listened to a bit of commentary about them. I don't want to go on too much about it. But anyway, Armand, hello. Steve, 071. Hello, Steve. You weren't here for part 1. Thanks for coming here for part 2. Much appreciated, mate. You know, much appreciated. Where am I now? I'm checking. I shared everything. Remoaners in Parliament part 2. Okay, so I'm just going to share this on the. I'm actually going to share part 2. I'm just going to share this on the Jacob Rees-Mogg appreciation group. One moment, I'm just going to find it. I'm a member of the Jacob Rees-Mogg appreciation group on Facebook. I'm just now going to share the part 2, which is I actually posted part 1 on there. It's going very slowly. Where is it? Oh, it's here somewhere. Maybe I hope no one deleted it. It's a good group, actually. Some good people in there. I think so. I don't know. I can't find the link now. I'm not going to post a new one. I'm just going to post it as like a comment reply. Everyone's making a fuss about Jacob Rees-Mogg, sort of lying down, reclining on the seat. He's reclining on the front bench. I don't know if that's. I doubt if he'd do that. If it wasn't some kind of message, I don't think he would do that. Just it may be like to make some sort of point. I don't know what it is, but I'd be interested to if it is some kind of like subliminal message. I mean, Trump is always doing this, some kind of hidden message behind what he's doing. Let's just have it. They're all voting at the moment, but where is it? It's a very active group, as you can see, because there's loads of. I've got to scroll down a long way to find the actual results. I don't think I'm going to find it. It's too far. Oh, 15. Where are we? 337. Where are we? Come on. How are you all anyway? Are you well? Oh, yeah. How's it going? Let's have a look at the results. MPs begin voting. That's it. The debate's concluding and MPs are now voting. I'll just go through some of the results. If I could find my. Why not? I'll just go to activity log. Dearie me. Isn't that just obvious? Isn't that obvious? I can't find it now. Where is it? Oh, here he goes. Ben Emily Jones posted in the Jacob Rees-Mogg appreciation group. Okay, and I can't find it. My post is not there. All right, not to worry. Anyway, I'll just go through some of the news that's been passed. A good hello to Armand Adams, Hugo, Rune, Pat Wright. Welcome back, all of you. Steve, thanks for joining us. And Phuket, Neil, James Tilly Matthews, etc., etc. Thanks all for joining. This is James Tilly Matthews. This is part 2 of my Remoaners in Parliament live stream. I'm just going to go down here. Now, there's been a lot of talk about, there's been a lot of news to catch up on. I don't really have any specific notes. There's published lots of humorous pictures. There's, what's this here? Conservative MP, former Conservative MP Nick Bowles is now an independent. Oh, right. So he's out. He's left the party. He says he has no regrets. He will do one day. Liam Fox, this opens up a chasm of distrust. Didn't you see it there already, Liam? This is Emily Thornberry, Shadow Foreign Secretary. The PM is unreliable, not honest, and untrustworthy. But she is, of course, yes. There's some funny pictures here. A historical president, journalist Joy Lodico posts an interesting question on Twitter with an eye to Boris Johnson's possible defeat tonight. Parliamentary history nerds. Has the Prime Minister ever been defeated on his or her first vote before? Oh, answer, Pitt the Younger, 1793. Oh, right. Oh, right, okay. Labour Leavers plan to revive May's deal. Well, how are they going to do that? It's been read on three separate occasions and rejected three separate occasions. I don't think you can actually put the same bill through for more than so many times. When are we expecting the vote? Oh, 2200. Well, that's around about now. So Anna Soubry, the Independent Group for Change, pays tribute to the Conservative MPs who supported the bill to prevent a no-deal Brexit on Halloween. Oh, I'm not going to read what she says. The SNP MP Tommy Shepherd says, the Parliament is ready for action. Bring it on. Tory rebel tally hits 17. That's 17 Tories. I mean, it's a lot, isn't it? There's protests outside Parliament. I saw them on TV a minute ago. But the bill will humiliate Parliament, says the great Kate Hoey. There's photos of Jacob Rees-Mogg reclining on the seats. And so we've just got to wait now for the vote to come through, which will be very, very soon. It'll appear on this feed pretty soon. As I said, he's laying down on the seat, with his feet not up on the seat, but sort of crossed over. It's like the media are making a big deal about it. I suspect that it's simply... I suspect he's doing it on purpose to make some kind of point. But anyway, hello all of you. Neil Desbranham, James, Tilly Matthews, and 69 Phuket. Hello. Some of you are here for the first one. Crafty Nihilist. Hello. Play school for 2-year-olds is a good kind of analogy, I think, what we're looking at now. But it's been. I've been watching. I did watch some of the. I had time to watch some of the recordings as I had my dinner, and I found out what about where Jacob Rees-Mogg refers to the Illuminati. And he said the Illuminati, he doesn't mention it. Excuse me, we'll have the result pretty soon. I'm going to put the actual what's happened. Oh, right, I'm just going to put the town. I don't know if you can hear that. I'll just put the sound down until the Poison Dwarf Burko decides to suddenly announce the results. But anyway, it's been. He does mention the Illuminati, Jacob Rees-Mogg, and I think he's being sarcastic. I'm not sure he's making reference to the real Illuminati, unless using that word and sort of lying down on his back on the front bench is some kind of code. I don't know. Do you think it is? What do you guys think in chat? James Tilly Matthews, there are no stupid questions here. You're perfectly okay to ask stupid questions. So go ahead. I've sort of got the video on in a kind of. I might put it in like a little side window here. Let me just get it onto another window. That's it, and then just minimize it so I can see what's going on at the same time as reading the chat. There we are. Okay, so there's the live stream, and there's the. Yeah, I just want you to be able to watch what I'm doing as well. But what's the name? Is this the question? What is the name of Bojo's balls is going? What in the name of Bojo's balls is going on? Well, James, maybe you've had the luxury, and I envied you, of not having to watch the bloody news all evening and do this live stream. Lime Spec Sky News on Twitter open. We'll see what happens. But anyway, let's just. We're waiting for Burko to run away from Gimli and get up on here. Neil Desperano says this is likely to lead to a general election, and he's probably right. Has the world ended yet, says Alzheimer? Not yet, but give it a chance. For heaven's sake, just leave. Yes. Steve, I'm sorry you missed the earlier stream, but I'm glad you're here now. I am glad you're here now. But Sky News and Twitter open. We'll find out. We'll be the first. This is an exclusive here for Panwo TV. We'll be one of the first people on YouTube to actually announce the results of the vote. But as I said, don't lose heart, because I think I know how it's going to go. Don't lose heart. Paul Culliford, Brexit Party to win. We're getting ahead of ourselves here, Paul. But of course, the next part of what's going to happen is, of course, the general election, the possible general election upcoming. More than possible, I'd say probable. So we'll see what happens anyway. But they're just sort of fussing around at the moment, and I think there's a couple of people struggling to get past people's knees in the seats. They're not the most comfortable seats in the world, these things, are they? They're waiting for unlock, snap action. No, Richard, I think this is actually the main vote. I've had like a lot of people have talked about this being the main vote, but I remember there was one of the news reporters says this was like the preliminary vote, but then the reporter then corrected her, which could mean that which could actually mean something different. It could actually mean that this is the original vote. Anyway, I'm treating it as if this is the original vote, and we'll find out later anyway. If it's not, then they'll go back and it'll be another 15 minutes and they'll do the next vote anyway. But so Richard Best, I think this might be, we'll find out soon anyway, when Burko's ready to talk, when all the MPs are taking their seats. It's like waiting for people to come back to the theatre after an interval. They've all got to get their seats, and then Burko's going to do his stuff. But anyway, Paul Culliford, I think the snap election may even be announced before the end of this evening. Boris might turn up and says we're going to. I don't know if he can do it tonight, but anyway. Now, truth is out there somewhere, and I agree with you, for your namesake. Is this all just a massive distraction from the American fires and the American twist? No. The two are both, they're all very important. I mean, the Amazon fires I covered on Third Rail Radio the other day. But they're not a distraction. No, they're definitely not. Steve's 070 was live, but not exclusive with Ben E. Jones. Just like, well, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's doing this. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But it's good to know that I'm on the case, you know. Claire, I can't bear to watch. Oh, I know. It's the results. I know, Claire. It is annoying, isn't it? Hello, Safety Man. Ben the Man, he says. Hello, how are you, Safety Man? It's like Soccer Saturday on Sky, says Stevie Jones. Not as fun. Not as fun as football. But, Claire, it's annoying, isn't it? And, I mean, I'm trying not to, like, pin my hopes on too much or get too disappointed if it doesn't go my way and things like that, because I started the live stream actually, remember, very downhearted, and now I feel a lot more cheerful. I really do feel more cheerful now. James Lee Matthews says, win what? Only follow politics if there's a sex scandal. Oh, right, really? Well, that's all the time, isn't it? You know, you usually get some MP with a sex tape. You know, is good-looking honky still there? He knows all about that. I wonder if he's waving his sword. Oh, do they have a sword? They have a mace. They have this thing called the mace, which is supposed to represent the Queen's presence in Parliament. I remember an MP once, it was a left-wing Labour MP in the 80s. He ran down, he picked it up, and he threw it on the floor. I remember, did a bit of damage to it. Matt. Hello, Matt. Mart. What if this results in a civil war? Well, I hope it won't, but in a sense, aren't we already at war in a way? I mean, isn't it? How do you define war? I mean, I had a discussion actually with someone on YouTube a few hours ago. It's not necessarily when there's violence. It could be if you define war as when the normal process of civilized politics breaks down, then we're already at war. And but what I mean is, instead of saying you're wrong because, they say you're a racist, evil Nazi, bigot, chicken fucker from hell. So there. And that's already happened. I see it in government. I see it in political commentary. I see it in The Guardian. And I see it with individual people. I had a very upsetting conversation, actually, with my dad's girlfriend, who is... My dad's a bit of a ladies' man. He's got himself a younger girlfriend. But she's a Remoaner too. And I won't tell you what she said, but it was like that. It was a very upsetting conversation I had with her, because I've always liked her. She treats my dad a lot better than my mum used to. But she just said, "Oh, anyone who supports this is stupid. Anyone who supports Brexit is stupid," she said, meaning me. And Neptune returns. We don't know the result yet. So, Mart, maybe we are in a state of civil war, because we're in that process where normal civilized politics has broken down. I mean, we had a referendum. The referendum is basically, the referendum was passed correctly into Parliament. Everyone agreed to the results beforehand. Everyone agreed to take part in it and agreed to its rules. When the people with power in this country didn't get the result they wanted, they're saying, well, to hell with the referendum. We're in charge. You're a bunch of white working class heterosexuals. We're overruling it. We're going to pretend it never happened. That's essentially what they're saying. They won't use those words, but that is what they're saying. That's the subtext between everything that we're talking about now. That's what they're saying. So wars, real wars, violence wars, have started by things like that. It's a very common way that war starts, actually, when the normal political processes are subverted. If you want any definition of a coup d'etat, I mean, they're all moaning about it now. A coup d'etat could be defined kind of in a way of what we've just seen. The removal of Margaret Thatcher from power was another example of a coup d'etat. Neil Despranum says the mother of all parliaments is about to make the mother. Oh, here we go. Can you hear that? Get on with it, you little turd. Well, it's delay. Okay. Some people can't make their minds up. Anyway, we'll come back in a minute. They're all gathering, I think, but I'll keep me on what they're going. The mother of all parliaments is about to make the mother of all mistakes. Well, I think perhaps mistakes is the wrong word, Neil. It's about to commit the mother of all crimes. I mean, in terms of political deception and fraud and unconstitutionality, which is a crime. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right, here's the result. Get on with it, you little turd. They just bowing there. The ayes have it. It's what we expected. Shut up. All right, that's it. This isn't. Oh dear. Let's listen to the PM. That's what they want. You see. Yeah, he's addressing Corbyn. Of course he will, yes. Well done, Boris. He just slagged off Corbyn. But if not, no deal. Yes. Good. Can you actually hear can you hear this? Yeah. Yes. There you are. Claire, I guess you haven't been listening. I'm afraid, Claire. Oh, God, here comes Corbyn. Oh, shut the fuck up, you two-faced bastard. Sorry, I'm not going to listen to Corbyn. Claire, I'm very sorry. The Rebels have won by a majority of 27. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm not going to listen to that bastard Corbyn. Let's go back to the news thread. I don't know if you can hear. I hope you heard that. I don't know if you heard that. Where's the? Oh, they don't have. Oh, here we go. Yep. Results of the Commons vote. There we are. Okay. Oh, there's loads of people. Loads of people have already tweeted bloody selfies. Oh, look, we've got Oliver Letwin and Edward Lee leering at the camera in Parliament while they're reading out the bloody vote. We've got Chuka Umunna with Joe Swinson just now taking over the Commons business tomorrow to pass a bill to stop a no-deal Brexit, which is for us the first step to see. Joe Swinson is actually not being. She's being much more candid. She's admitting that the whole thing is about stopping Brexit altogether. Oh, MPs tweet from the voting lobbies. Oh, bloody hell! This must be a rule against that kind of behaviour. Honestly, where was I? Right, okay. So I'll just go back where we were. Yeah. You didn't miss much, Claire. It was just the usual, but I'm sorry. It's annoying about that. 69 Food Kit says the pussy metrosexual rebellion. I think that's the protesters outside. I don't know if you could actually hear what was coming through my earphones back then, but I was just listening to Boris. But you probably watched it and you could watch the recording. Boris said exactly what I hoped he would say in response to this. And what he said to Corbyn, tell me, could you hear actually? No, you couldn't. Okay, you couldn't hear. Everyone's saying no, they can't hear it. Okay. Well, Boris he chastised the Parliament for their lack of democratic commitment. And then he said to Corbyn, he said he's sure that he then said he was going to table a motion with the Electoral Commission, which basically means he's going to go for a general election tomorrow. I mean, probably now they're going to win the vote tomorrow as well. And then he said that. Then he said to Corbyn, he said, if Corbyn is at the helm, then I'm sure he's going to go crawl into Brussels and just do whatever they say. And he pointed an accusing finger at Corbyn. And I'm really, really pleased about that. I really, really am. So the truth is out there somewhere, said the prostitutes in suits are just made for propaganda. They have the same agenda, face, different masked. Don't get sucked into it all. No. Fouquet says 1-0. Yes, so far, unfortunately, yeah. It's not the end of the game. No, it's not the end of the game. What's going to happen is Corbyn may have a problem with Joe Swinson as Lib Dem leader. I think some people might tell Joe Swinson to tone it down a bit, because if Corbyn forms a coalition with her, which he will have to in a general election, he will then have to basically go along with someone who has admitted that everything they're doing is simply to stop Brexit. Everything. It's about stopping Brexit. And of course, he's not said that. He's still making the pretense of, we just don't want to crash out without a deal. And he's going to have to form an alliance with a woman who said, look, we don't care about crashing out. Look, this crashing out no deal stuff is just a smokescreen. We want to stop Brexit. Oh, God. James Tilly Matthews says, civil war, I can barely find my lighter, never mind a musket. Stand by your pike, young man. Stand by your pike. Yes. Possibly apart from Guy Fawkes, the only person who ever entered Parliament with honest intentions was Oliver Cromwell in 1629. He walked in and he arrested them all. Some of them got their heads cut off. Mart says, two sides. I'm a bit worried. Antifa will take the streets and hurt people if they don't get their way, which is likely. Well, that's what they normally do when they don't get their way. Look what they did when Trump got elected. And I mean, it's going to be, obviously, Antifa, when it comes to actual brute force, Antifa they are the hyenas of the world. They hunt in packs. They attack weaklings. They're cowardly. They go for people on streets who are just chanting like they did for me, stealing my hat, whacking me with a rolled up newspaper. That's their version of violence, because they're the hyenas, but we're the lions. That's it. James T. Matthews says, God bless Edward Heath, because no one else will. 69 Phuket, Hogwarts has started. If you know a good Harry Potter spell for sorting this out, then please do let me know. Mart says, my name is Matt. Oh, Matt, sorry. So it's M-A-A-T. You understand with it, I thought it was Mart. Mart is the goddess of truth and justice in ancient Egyptian concepts, truth, balance, order, harmony, and law. Yes, and ironically, she's the symbol of the UK judiciary. You see her statue on the top of the Old Bailey. Neil Desbrandam says, there they go, Parliament are the enemy of the people. And Mart simply says, fuck. Yes, exactly. Neil, general election, yes. 69 Phuket, anyone want to negotiate? Well, they don't want to negotiate. They want to just to have their way against all the will of the people, against anyone who just doesn't like what they want. Boris was probably writing what he said. He was probably preparing that speech long before he actually said it. But it was what he said. It was just a quick 2-minute speech. Will hopefully go down in history as a great speech. I think I couldn't have put it better myself. As I said, he deserves a chance. So far, he's got one. Winslow Burdett. Hello, Winslow. How are you? Roses are red. I've just lost my pen. I'm grabbing a beer and then listening to Ben. That's a nice one. Someone was talking about Zen koans earlier on. I didn't quite see that comment. Sorry about that. Neptune Return says, rise up, people of Britain. Yes. As was it Percy Shelley said? David Eichels quotes it. Rise like lions from your slumber. Shake the change which you are under. I can't remember the whole. Let me just find the whole quote. This is so important. It's so appropriate. Rise like lions. It was a rise like lions. Here we go. It was from a poem called The Mask of Anarchy. Here we go. A poem, a political poem written in 1819 following the Peterloo Massacre. Yeah. The Peterloo Massacre was Britain's Tiananmen Square, and now it happened in 1805, I think. I know, no, it was 1812. I know because Critical Mass Radio were the only people who marked the bicentennial of it. And it's a wonderful poem. The last stanza, I'll read the last stanza because David Eichel quotes this. Rise like lions after slumber in unvanquishable number. Shake your change to earth like dew, which in sleep had fallen on you. Ye are many, they are few. Yeah, very true. That's by Percy Shelley, following that awful incident where basically there were no police in those days, but the government, there were some people, they were actually part of the Chartist movement. They were petitioning the government in Manchester. They were in Manchester on a street negotiation. They dressed up in their Sunday best. There was a peaceful protest in the middle of Manchester, and they were at Peterloo Square in Manchester, and the government sent in the army to break it up, and they charged in with their horses, slashing people with their sabres, and about 18 people died. Hundreds were injured. It was Tiananmen Square of Britain. This peaceful process was crushed by the government, and it shocked the nation. It just goes to show how violent the state is and what it will do when it needs to get its way. When the pretense of civility, like when civil politics breaks down, you then have basically you're dealing with an unholy, violent monster, and you have to defend yourself with force. Al-Jaima, I'm done negotiating. Well, we are. Al-Jaima, we've tried to negotiate with them. We voted in a referendum which they promoted for them, and then they said no. They then said, wrong answer, guys. Yeah, no. You're supposed to vote Remain, but you gave us the option. No, yes, we gave you the option, but you have to choose Remain. Look, I'm sorry you couldn't hear that. Yeah, I'm sorry you couldn't hear. I mean, I know a lot of you were saying you couldn't hear what I could hear. I'm sorry about that. I was just basically I was sitting here and you were sitting in silence, and I apologise for the dead air there. I wasn't sure. I know that when I recorded my thing on OBS, I did. So you people could hear it. It was recorded. So I'm sorry about that. The videos from the underground. Boris socked Corbyn right in the kisser. Yes, it was very satisfying. Stevo71. Check out what he said. I've read it out. I'm sure you heard that. Pat Riot, is Joe Swinson that wheelchair character in Family Guy? Oh, the policeman, yeah, Joe. The one that he's next to, the one who his wife's always pregnant, and he's like, no, it's not, no. Neptune returns, savages, yeah. Claire says, bad scene, as we used to say back in the 70s. Very much so. James C. Matthews, does this mean I can reopen your Euro account? Oh, for God's sake, don't. The Euro is going to crash faster than anything you can imagine. Limespec says, utter sham, really. I do wonder when we'll see genuine leavers uprising like we did with those people's vote marches. Well, you will, Limespecs. You will see us in London. There's going to be there'll be a big showdown in London, and I'm going to be there. Do you remember there was at least over 1 million people easily when I went down there? You've seen my video of the event. Probably it's the Brexit betrayal protest. I did it back in April. I showed you on my camera what they wouldn't show you on the news. Everything was packed. It was packed all the way from Parliament Square right up to Whitehall, full of people. Almost to the gates of Westminster, almost from the gates of Westminster Abbey up to where the blockade was at Downing Street, shoulder to shoulder. There were easily 1 million or more people there. And the news wouldn't show you it. The news shows you helicopter shots from earlier when people were just arriving and made it look like a smaller event. That will happen again. This is not going to go away. You just sense the energy, the passion. People aren't going to just calm down and get on with their lives and just shrug their shoulders. There's going to be protests. There's going to be more and more protests until this ends. It's going to be like Hong Kong. Yeah. A reply to a rebellion in UK says, yeah. Matt, Jeremy Corbyn. Yeah, Jeremy Corbyn he will lose. Firstly, his party's put many points behind the government. He has hardly any money in his coffers. He is going to have to get a coalition with the Lib Dems, and they probably will. Unfortunately, the left has a habit of uniting when they need to, and he will try to unite with Joe Swinson. However, our job is to remind everyone what their real agenda is from the words of Joe Swinson's mouth. We have to say they're trying to stop Brexit. They don't care about deal or no deal. They're just trying to stop Brexit. This whole thing is a sham, and we mustn't vote for this coalition. I'd say to anyone who any form of conscience to realise how undemocratic. Even if you voted Remain, please, can't you see? Lose graciously, as I would have done. We would have done if it had been the other way around. If the vote in 2016 had come back with Remain, I would have accepted that this cycle of history turned against us. I would continue to campaign against the New World Order through this method of breaking down the EU, but I would have accepted this cycle of history turned against us, and I would have found other ways. Please, Remainers, do the same. Have the courage and the maturity to do the same. Don't vote for this crooked coalition, which wants to just drag you back to infancy. Well, I can't have what I want. Wah, wah, wah. Which is what these Remoaners are. They're babies. Claire, Claire, I forgot you haven't been watching. Yeah, I don't blame you. The exact motion is, I'll read it out. Let's just go back. Right, so the actual motion, the motion is to take control of the House of Commons agenda. Right, that's basically what that means is, it's exactly the Claire. I hope you're still there, Claire. What they're saying is it's exactly the same situation as happened in April with Yvette Cooper and her bill. It's exactly the same, which is basically that the whole process is taken away from the government and the Parliament gets to vote on it directly. which is exactly what happened. This is how you got that bloody delay last time. Theresa May was forced to go to Parliament, to go to the EU, by this motion, and get another delay. And they've done it again. That's the motion. So tomorrow they're going to have another vote. They're going to have another vote on a delay on Brexit. And the only way Boris can stop them is by calling a general election, which is what I think he's going to do. They're going to have a vote. So I think I'll go into more details on tomorrow's live stream, but they're going to have another vote on. They're going to have a vote to basically cancel against not Article 50. That Freudian slip there. They're going to have a vote against no deal Brexit tomorrow, which means then they'll then be going to the EU to ask for a delay. The great bowel movement of deception. It is, isn't it? God, yes. Lime Spec says, surely normal people can see this is a bit of a disgrace. Yes. Lime Specs, you've just mentioned the silvery lining to this cloud. This is what's known. This is going to be the ultimate black pill. And as I said earlier, there's nothing the government can actually do which is going to be good for them in the long run. And as depressing as this is, as annoying as this is, we've got to remember that. And I'm talking to myself now. I'm advising myself here, because I was very downhearted at the beginning of this live stream. I felt awful, actually, as I went in to start this live stream. I've been watching the debate. I've been watching these idiots pick apart Boris Johnson. I hadn't heard Rees-Mogg and the others and his supporters yet. And so I had nothing to compare it with. And I just heard these horrible Remoaners having a go at him. This brave and professional, decent man being savaged by these globalist infiltrators, these fifth columnists, which is what they are. People will be able to see that. It's as I said, this is what's happening at the moment is an enormous political education for the population. It's a very steep learning curve of teaching people the facts of life, how things really work in politics. It's lucky in Britain we have a naturally stable society. There'd probably be a civil war right now. And as I said earlier, I mean, we should really be quite pleased this has happened, because the worst thing that could have happened is the government just shrugged their shoulders and gave us Brexit, triggered Article 50 in June 2016. We're out by June 2018. Says, there you are, there you go. People said, thank you very much. See how nice the government is. Their reluctance and their terrible, disgraceful attempt to undo the 2016 referendum is going to be their undoing. Where are we now? James Lee Matthews. If only we had Anthony Lyndon Blair in number 10. High heels would be compulsory. Oh God, don't bring him back, please. Oh, he's going to be making speeches again, isn't he? James Lee Matthews. Democracy. Where did you good people develop a taste for such luxuries? Well, democracy is a con, isn't it? Neptune returns. Rees-Mogg mentioned the Illuminati in the Commons. 21. Yes. Thanks. I saw that. Someone else actually mentioned that in a previous live stream, and I actually saw it. He does. Now, I don't know if he's being sarcastic. I don't know if he's being daft or crazy. I don't know if he's being. I don't know if he's kind of being just silly and making jokes. Well, maybe he's trying to say something serious in disguise, the way Trump often does. 69 Phuket. He's informing the House to respect the neighbours as you exit. Do you mean when he was lying down like that? I thought it was quite cool. I think, of course, that's going to be on all the papers tomorrow, isn't it? It must be. He must have done that deliberately. So, Galaxian, hello. I watched Peterloo at the Flicks. Yeah, the Peterloo Massacre. Hang on. Yeah, it's Cosmic Claire. 1819 was it the Peterloo Massacre? Right, because I see. Because it's funny because let's just check because Peterloo Massacre. All right, here we go. Yes, 16th of August, 1819. Just over 200 years ago. Isn't that ironic? It's not ironic. Just over 200 years ago. I've not seen the Peterloo film. I might go and see it, but I'd probably end up having a Boudica moment, and I can only have so many of them. Lime Specs, yes. It was a vote. It was Boris lost the vote 328 to 301. It's a majority of 27, which means it's 52 by 48 in percentage. Yes, well, that's another piece of ironic synchronicity, isn't it? Let's have the people's vote. Let's have a second vote, shall we? Come on, it was only 27 little MPs. Let's have that people's vote. Come on, let the MPs decide. Oh my god! I'm glad. Thank you, Lime Specs. I'm glad we mentioned that. I hope other people spot it as well. Oh, Cosmic Claire. It's called oh, what was the title of it? Anyway, it's Claire. It's called Jacob Rees-Mogg tells MPs they are subverting Parliament's role for scrutiny. 3rd September 2019. Just Google Jacob Rees-Mogg. Actually, Claire, I've just posted it. Claire, go to my YouTube. Go to my Facebook. I've just posted it. It's on my. It's the second item down on my wall, and I just say Jacob Rees-Mogg mentions the Illuminati. It's there. Not only I posted the video, I've also put it in at the correct time. I've got a timestamp on it. So check that out, Claire. James T. Matthews. Personally, I welcome our European leaders with open arms. So, yes, our overlords, our European overlords. Galaxian, they're convinced they are our betters and we are just cattle. Yeah, well, they are going to. Well, we're going to have to show them otherwise. I think we're not. Fenlander69 says, I think we're fucked. Brexit will never happen. Well, it has to happen. It has to, Fenlander, because basically, if it doesn't happen, the world's fucked. And we have the 2016 referendum, and they can't take that away from us. They can't make 17.4 million people forget how they voted. And we never, the energy's there. Hello, Maggie. Hi, Maggie. Maggie Hahn is there. Granddaughter of Helen Duncan. Hi, Maggie. How are you? Thanks for joining me. Or us. Neptune returns. Rees-Mogg at the dispatch box defends government. That's in the Sun. They've already released a headline on the Sun Online. That's a very sort of like pedestrian for the Sun, I must say. 69 Phuket, like the officers' bar in Porridge. Where is everybody? Yeah, the Porridge movie. Yes, they go to the prison officers' club. Maggie wants to know what's going on. Maggie Hahn is in the United States. Well, basically, the government, we just had essentially an attempted takeover of our government by globalist forces. They've used the parliamentary system to subvert the rightful will of the people, which, for once, the governing body, is trying to implement. So it's an awful situation, Maggie. It really is. I mean, watch the recording of the first live stream. 69 Phuket. Don't worry, it's what we deserve. No, it's not. No, it's not. Matt says Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson should get into a ring, fight to the death. That will sort things out. Oh, Matt, Boris could flatten Corbyn with the inside of his elbow. Al Shimer, you see you in London. I'll be there on Saturday, probably Saturday afternoon. James T. Matthews, protesting is meaningless street theatre these days. Does anyone remember the 250,000 protesters in Scotland in 2008? Oh no, of course not. We were watching Live 8. Oh, it's protesting does do good. It helps build confidence among people. It builds communities. It's always worth doing, going on a street protest. It is always worth doing. Oh, Claire, you're still there. Have you seen it, Claire? I'll just tag you in it. Actually, I should tag you. I've tagged you in it. All you have to do is click that. Okay, and it's the right video and it's at the right timestamp. Yeah. Insert pie now. Hello. When 8th placers win prizes, you end up with these Remoaners. Yeah. It's this idea that, it's this. The thing is about it's this very extreme anti-elitism, which basically says that everybody, no matter what you do, you're just all the same. It's this socialist ideal of forced equality. Oh, I wonder if let's just check. I wonder if my BitChute video has. That's good. Okay, if you like BitChute, then you can go to BitChute and watch part 1 of this. That's it. Good. That's working. You go to BitChute Part 1. I'll upload the recording of this to BitChute. I'll download and record it to BitChute. The House of Commons is the same agenda: money laundering, blame, acceptance. Oh, they're horrible. They really are. Really, most of them. There's some good guys like JRM and Boris, but they're bloody most of them are awful. There's awful people. I mean, as I said in the last live stream, the crime rate there is 100 times the national average. Richard Best, this is really getting me down. I've lost all heart in politics. It's never going to win. Can Farage save us? Can the Queen step in? The Queen, I'd forget the Queen, I think, but Farage now, what we can do is, you can bet that Boris is already working on this, because he's going to call a general election. He's going to need a coalition with Nigel Farage. If he doesn't, then he's essentially surrendering. He's throwing the whole thing deliberately. But Maggie Hahn, Parliament should have been shut down immediately. And in this circumstances, when it's so infiltrated and taken over, it's no longer a legitimate political body. It does. We need some kind of provisional government. And, everyone says, well, in Russia, people did that in Russia and it ended up with the Bolsheviks. Yes, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. But what are we supposed to do? Continue with this? What we have now? 69 Phuket, take on this one. We're not leaving the EU. 69 Phuket, in a way, well, we have to leave. We're going to leave the EU because the EU is going to collapse. I mean, when Britain is the only country left in the EU, can we then change its name to Britain? What's going to happen is now, if we're not leaving, if they really are digging their heels in, insisting we stay in, everyone is going to see it. As they said in the 60s, the whole world is watching. And that's going to do terrible damage, incredible damage to the credibility of the powers that be. That's good for us. Limespec says, anywho, I'm off ski. Night, all. I'll leave you this tweet I saw today. That's perfect. All right. Thanks, Limespecs, thank you very much. I'll just read the tweet. Never in British history have so few gone to such lengths to reject the verdict of so many for so long. Oh, that's excellent. Where did you get that? Limespecs, where did you get that? That's wonderful. Thank you. Before you go to bed, just let us know who actually tweeted that, because I'll go and retweet it unless someone else hasn't already. Yeah, that's excellent. I just got to oh dear, it's awful, isn't it? Ian Lee, wait, you Brits trust the Germans? Those world wars were wasted. They weren't the Germans, it was the globalists. General election, but no one will know who to vote for. Well, that's why you need the coalition. If there's a coalition, if there's not, then basically the Tories and the Brexit Party will just split the vote, and because we don't have proportional representation, it'll be useless. They need a coalition. James Lee Matthews is brave and professional. Diego Rivera, the alt-right is controlled opposition. It is. I mean, it's certainly an incorrect opposition in my view. I think there's some people in it who mean well, but they don't see the whole picture. 69 Phuket, anarchy in the UK. Oh, you've already anticipated what my opening track on this Thursday's Panwo show is going to be. Diego Rivera, Rees-Mogg is part of the Illuminati. Is that what he meant? He was signaling to his Illuminati brothers. Matt says, yep, it's shown them up. Hopefully, it's a start of huge groups of sheep people waking up. It has to, yeah. 69 Phuket. Ben keeps taking me out of context. Not deliberately, Phuket. I mean, and 69 Phuket, obviously against public school ethos. Anarchy, UK. If I misunderstand you, I'm sorry. It's not deliberate. James Tilly Matthews. Personally, I think this is a wonderful outcome. The longer it drags, the greater the snapback. Every cloud and all that. Yeah, James. I'm trying to see it that way because intellectually I know it's true. But in my heart of hearts, I find it just miserable. It's tedious and it's stressful. And I just want to get it over. I want to be able to say, hey, hooray, we're out, we've got Brexit. I just want to be able to say that. Ian Lee, I've given up. The elites are way smarter than us working stiffs. No, then, Ian, don't give up. Don't, for goodness sake. Read my 2016. Look at my 2016 video. How did that happen? Galaxian says Peterloo was very dull. All right. Well, I'm not going to watch it anyway because, like I said, Galaxian, I can't have Boudica moments at the moment because it's just too much. I mean, I'm already emotionally overwhelmed. A Boudica moment would push me really down. It really get me down. James says, "Come on, people! Surely Miles Johnston will save us. Miles, will you save us? Feck off! I'm in edit lockdown." All right, no, he won't. 69 Phuket system meltdown. Not a bad thing. Exactly. It's quite encouraging, actually. I hope that's the correct context. Neil Desperandum says, "Don't give up. God often turns events around in miraculous ways, and often when all hope seems lost." Yes, Neil. The general election before Brexit, will really. You see, if Boris calls a general election, then we have a chance because he can then. Because remember, the mess he's in terms of his majority and stuff like that has got a lot to do with the mess Theresa May left him. As I said in part one, if he can get the Brexit Party in there and he can increase his majority, then he has a chance. The whole issue started off before really all this kicked off, before the big backlash against Brexit happened. So we're going back to it was early 2017 actually, when the current landscape, the current share of seats in Parliament was actually formed. If Brexit it could be that the whole thing has changed. That whole situation in terms of the electorate has changed. The tide has turned in terms of public opinion, which means the seat share will change. Boris could get he and a Brexit Party coalition together, which could, if that happens, I think he has a very good chance of outvoting any Labour Lib Dem coalition. When he's done that, then it's finished. You just say, right, EU, we're leaving 31st of October. That's it. And I mean, because that's the thing, isn't it? Maggie answers, "Just get out." Exactly. 3 little words, Maggie. James T. Matthews, "Has anyone consulted Tony Topping?" I'll ask him. Tony, what do you think? I know that Simon Parks often makes comments on these sorts of things. Ben Elton sold his soul. Says Phuket and Neptune Returns are discussing Ben Elton. Honestly, I haven't heard that name for years. I remember he was very funny. He was a good comedian. But what do you mean? James T. Matthews. We need a round table. Mr. Ben Counters, Tony Topping, Miles Johnson, Simon Parks, to get some clarity on the issue. Well, I'd be up for that. That's a great idea, James. And I'd be very much up for that. If they want to do it, I'm right there with them. I promise you, I'm right there with them. Yes. We don't argue. We disagree. We don't argue nastily. Oh, I'm going back up again. Oh, bloody hell. Diego Rivera, Corbyn is less New World Order than Boris. No, he's not. Cosmic Claire, browser's running slow on FB. Oh, Claire, you had a bit of problems last time with multiple posts, I remember. Are you off, Matt? Night. He'd be on Stop the Week or something. Matt, night. See you then. Maggie, I know how you feel about it all. Totally disgusted. Hey, Maggie, thanks. And I wish we had, when you finish with Trump as your president, can we have him as our prime minister? Him and Boris, prime minister and deputy prime minister. That's what we need. Mrs. B says a street protest at least shows the government that people care. It gives them a bit of strength to their arguments in Parliament. Street protest, yes, Mrs. B, it's a great way, street protest, firstly, of building confidence among people who are against something or in fact want campaigning for something. It shows the public as well, because people will see it. And these days of the internet, we don't have to rely on the mainstream media. People don't have to rely on the BBC. They can watch my video where I show you the true story. Neptune says, Ben Elton MBE. Oh, he's bowed down before the lizard, has he? He's had a scaly hand on his shoulder with a sword, has he? Oh, nice. Where are we? Just get rid of that. Jeremy Corbyn for PM, says Diego Rivera. Not a chance. Over my dead body. Yes. Ben Elton MBE. Diego Rivera. Long live Palestine. Queen has a claw sketch. Oh, that's Neil Haig did that, I think. James C. Matthews. Jeremy Corbyn has an admiral neckbeard. He also has a very tidy sock with open foot sandal combo. Oh, he's a horrible little. He's really shown a really nasty side of himself. Maggie, yes, you're from Scotland. Maggie, he's taking the mickey, Maggie. Don't worry. I know you're a Scottish lady. Mrs. B, yeah, I'm disgusted as well. Bloody Corbyn, Swinson, Soubry, Burkow. They will never redeem themselves in my eyes. No. Anyway, there's a lot of talk about Germans and things like that. All right, so I'll get rid of that, Maggie. Don't worry. Let me just get rid of that. All right. Touch no. All right. Yeah. Claire, I'm sorry. I'll PM at you later. All right. I will do that now quickly. I don't know why that won't happen. Hang on. Share now as a private message. I hope this works. Share, send us a message. I hope this works. I'll send it you as a private message. There you go. If that doesn't work, then I don't know what to do. I'll sort it out tomorrow. Right, where are we now? Hugo Runes, never give up. I won't, Maggie. We won't give up. Hugo Rune says the English are not British; they are German. Oh, we are. Yeah, we had this discussion before, and it's interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. And I remember, I think we have a Germanic language, yes, but it depends on what you mean. When you nationalise people, are you talking about language? You're talking about race? Talking about culture? Because racially, we're not. Racially, it's different from linguistically. James Tilly Matthews. I agree, Mr. Lee. We are smart and they have fully paid staff for this kind of thing. We have the secretary typing in this chat. Yeah. 69 Phuket. I was referring to you, Ben. All right. Well, Phuket, I'm sorry if I misunderstood you. I'm sorry. I please rephrase or repeat. Mrs. B, it would be much better if our politicians were decent people. This is messing us about, preventing us from sorting out the problems of this country. Yeah. Mrs. B, yeah, I mean, there are decent politicians. Of course, they get pushed aside by the scumbags. And now they're just saying, look, I mean, if Boris somehow got a deal with the EU and he got it through Parliament, they would just reject every deal, and they say we don't want any no deal. So they're shutting all the doors except cancel Brexit, which is what they're doing. I'm not repeating. You're repeating a point there, Diego. James C. Matthews. Jokes about Germans. Diego Rivera, Boris works for the reptilians who did 9/11. No, they're not. Boris is Turkish, you gobshite. Born in New York. What did you expect? James? He is. He has a Turkish grandfather, I believe. Yes, I was looking at that. Cosmic Claire, he does mention the Illuminati. I will. I've just PM'd you the video with Jacob Rees-Mogg, and it's at the timestamp where he does say it. Where are we now? Right. Where are we going? Just go through these things. Claire, Ben gave you the wrong video. I didn't. Check it, Claire. It's in your private message box. I'll sort it out tomorrow if there's any problems, but I think I gave you the right one. David Schultz. Okay, yeah. Jordan Maxwell on the Richie Allen show. Lucky Luciano says, can you order a escort? Oh, not now. Do you mean a Ford Escort? Diego Rivera. Corbyn has a beard. That shows he's a mammal, not a reptile. How do you know it's not false? 69 Phuket, the porridge quote. It's a bit bleak up here, but in summer there are some amazing views. Oh, I love Fletcher. Fletcher's so good, man, because he's like such an optimist. He's stuck in jail and he's not lost his zest for life. I think he's really cool, this Fletcher. Yeah. Maggie. Oh, yeah, send us a video by all means. Oh, nice one, Claire. You've got it. Brilliant. Just don't mention Zivor, Maggie. Auf Wiedersehen, Hugo, says Steve, 71. James Tilly Matthews. Oh, I do send you. Don't I send you private messages? I reply to the private messages I get. David Icke has come out as a reptile, not from my knowledge. 69 for PM, says 69 Phuket. It's okay. I'm too being misunderstood. Okay. 69 for PM. That reminds me of The Prisoner. 6 for 2. 6 for 2. Do you remember that episode where they have an election and number 6 applies to be number 2? Videos from the underground. Yes, a condition, Nigel and Brexit Party. Make history, leave the EU, don't give up. Keep voting, stand firm, save your nation. The NWO must fall. Lies. You got into this situation. Let truth lead you out. Yeah. It's obviously going to be a long slog. You know, videos. It's longer than we thought. But you know, we won't give up. And we can't lose this one. We literally cannot lose it. Cosmic Claire, Circassian, not real Turkish. Is that where is he? Is he? Oh right, I see. Okay. Diego Rivera, is this the reptile stopping Brexit, Ben? They're trying to, Diego, but they won't succeed. James Tilly Matthews, Ben is Dutch Welsh. That's right. I've got a good authority. He's funded by those damn Brussels truffle squeezers. If I was, I wouldn't tell you. Oh, fuck it, that was Barraclough, was it? Oh, Mr. Barraclough, yes. Mr. Barraclough was kind of, he was cool too, because he was like a kind of nice, he was the nice screw, wasn't it? Or the nice officer. Screw is a bit of a double entendre, but he had his horrible wife, do you remember? And Fletcher used to counsel him on what to do with his wife. Diego Vera, I don't know if Bigfoot likes the reptilians. Hugo Root says, sorry guys, I'm British, not English, and honestly, I don't really care what happens in the future. It's like watching a cinema show. All right, Hugo, okay. The British, not English thing is interesting. I mean, I care. I want certain things, yes. 69 Phuket, The Prisoner is absolutely brilliant. You can get it on YouTube at the moment. It's really good. Spoken like a true Teuton, Mr. Roon, says James Tilly Matthews. Diego Rivera, where's Richard D. Hall's spaceship? He parks it in his garden behind his house. Cosmic Claire, yeah. Claire, he might have been laughing about the Illuminati thing. Reese Mogg. Yeah. 69 Phuket. I saw me a flicker show when I was a child. I think that's is that a line from the Green Mile? Stan Smith, hello, welcome. Diego Rivera, why does Richard D. Hall travel by car when he has a spaceship? Well, you see, he doesn't like to publicize his spaceship. He likes to keep it quiet. So he always, yes, Green Mile, thought so, 69. So he leaves it parked and he flies it at night. I've actually seen him flying in his spaceship because I was actually in his studio because I was on his show a couple of times. Hey guys, it's now almost 11 o'clock. Shall I call it a night? I'll tell you what, look, I'll just get this uploaded to BitChute, and then I will post a loads because there'll be another one tomorrow. Now the live stream tomorrow is going to be a bit later because I'm doing a show with Caroline Stevens at 7, so it's going to be at 8:30. Okay, 8:30. I'll put a notice on, okay, before I go to bed. Thanks, Maggie, for sending me that video, and James Tilly Matthews and Hugo Roon, thank you very much. See you, Steve-071. I will try not to have nightmares despite everything that's gone wrong tonight. It's been a bloody awful evening. Take care, Fenlander. Be back tomorrow. Be about 8:30. Look out for the notice because I'll post it probably before I go to bed unless I'm too tired. In which case, I'll post it when I get home from work. Night, Hugo. See you, David. There'll be more tomorrow because there's going to be another bloody vote in Commons. And happy nightmares. Yes, that's right. As Richard says, believe only half of what you hear and half of what you see, and none of what you hear, and half is what you see. Night, 69. Night, Phuket. Night, Richard. You take care, guys. Night, Neptune returns. You're welcome. Cosmic Claire, thanks for posting in chat. Good night, Pat Riot. Nice to meet you. And I hope to see you all tomorrow. And I hope you have a good night. It's 11 p.m. And this is part 2. So, no, Hugo. No, all of you. Night, James. Keep your eyes on the skies and your ear to the ground. I think we can put out the lights now. The country's doomed. Never mind. Hospital Port's pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order.